Hello everyone, my name is Aaron and welcome back to another video. Today I'll be taking a look at Pop Movies number 1450. This is the Bugs Bunny as Buddy the Elf for the 100th anniversary of Warner Brothers Studio. This is an interesting figure, one of many Bugs Bunny Bugs Bunny dressed as other Warner Brothers characters. This one interests me as I like Buddy the Elf. I have other Buddy the Elf figures, and I just thought it was an interesting one. I had also gotten the soda of Bugs Bunny as Superman, which I'm not 100% sure if that released this year, but if it did, I got that one as well. So a couple Bugs Bunnies there. I think it's an interesting figure. I'm interested to see if it actually stands up, just with how tall those ears are. The box is kind of plain at the front, but also not. You've got a bunch of names of different movies there. And seen Lord of the Rings there, Harry Potter, Inception. There's a lot of movies on the box, and you can see even more on the side of the box, which is sort of cool with the other shot of the figure. The poster for the Elf movie is all you have on the back. There's nothing like in a set thing and other names of movies there. And yeah, overall, I think it's a fine box that presents the figure well, and I think the figure looks well in there. I guess the only other thing that you'd sort of like is a bit of a backing card in these boxes. That does usually help the figure in some ways, at least in box, look a bit better. This one doesn't have that, so you just see that brown in the back, but it's all right. But yeah, I'll take a closer look at the figure outside the box, then give you my final thoughts on it. Here's the Bugs Bunny as Buddy the Elf out of the box, and a bit of a fear of mine when opening up this figure before I even bought it, I guess, was that it wouldn't stand up. Just the overall size of it, I was worried it might be a bit too top heavy, and it might be a bit too skinny as you go down, but this figure stands up. It doesn't have a base or anything, and it stands up without that, so that's nice. I'm sure it's not as stable as other figures, and a bit of wobbling, you could probably easily knock it over, but it stands up, which is nice. There's a decent base to those shoes. They're, of course, pretty large, so that's nice and gives a decent amount of balance so that the figure is able to stand up. I think they did a good job representing Bugs Bunny with Buddy the Elf's costume. It looks as you would expect a Buddy the Elf costume to look like. It has the nice fur details throughout it. And yeah, it looks nice. I like that you can see Bugs' arms coming out right there. I think that's a nice inclusion. The tail, another nice part. The wrinkles around the belt. The little gold accents around the tips of the costume. The belt buckle there. The shoes. The wrinkles around the pants. This figure I just think is quite detailed and well done. Bugs' face is detailed as well. Multiple different colors, shapes, and it looks quite nice. This is a very tall Funko Pop. Just bringing a Funko Pop in that I have near me, Harrison Dula. It's taller than her, and she's on a Star Wars base and is a decently tall figure. And yeah, I think Bugs here as Buddy the Elf looks quite good as a Funko Pop, and I'm happy to have added it to my collection. So now I'll just go into my final thoughts on it. I really like this Bugs Bunny as Buddy the Elf. I think the pose with the Santa and yelling Santa is a cool one. I think Bugs looks quite good here in the Buddy the Elf costume. There's some nice details throughout him, and I do really like this figure. I don't know if there's another Looney Tunes character that I'd prefer to have here as dressed as Buddy the Elf, but I think this one is pretty good. A well-done Funko Pop, and I'm happy to add it to my collection. Of course, it's nice that it released when it did around Christmas time, even though I think when I got this, it was October or November. But, you know, it was at least before, and not too before, and at least it wasn't after Christmas, so like some Christmas figures that seem like they come after the holiday with other things as well, like the Valentine's Day and Easter figures I'm sure are going to end up releasing in the summertime after the holidays happen, but nice to get this figure before that. It's a good Funko Pop. I'd recommend it if you're interested in it. You know, of course it's a big jump, but talking about elf figures this year, I'd prefer to just go up a notch and go with one of the NFT redeemable Buddy the Elves. Personally, I think those are far superior Buddy the Elf and elf figures. But of course, you also have a big price difference there between a $15 Funko Pop and a $100 Funko Pop. So, I don't know. I'm sort of in a stage in my Funko Pop collection where I'd kind of rather a cool figure instead of a bunch of not so cool regular price figures. That's just sort of where I'm at. So if I was to have one Buddy the Elf, I'd rather go out and buy some NFT redeemable Buddy or an older elf figure than this one. But currently on shelves, this is sort of the best you can get for Buddy the Elf. And I think it's a fine one, and I'm happy to have added it to my collection.